All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do some questions, and then you're going to practice the exact same question. Okay, so I'll do the right-hand side, you do the left. So given this graph, write it in standard form, the equation of an ellipse. Well, first I need to know if it's vertical or horizontal. It is vertical. That means that the bigger number, which is A, goes with the Y. That's why you need to know that. All right, find the center. So that center is 3, 1. Okay, find A, so you count the longest one to the vertice, which is 4. And then find B, which is you count the shortest distance from the center to the circle, which is roughly, let's say, 2.2. All right. Once you have those three pieces of information, then you can write the equation of a circle. All right, so x minus the h, which is 3 squared, plus y minus 1 equals 1 over, and you remember a goes with y, so it's a squared, which is 4 squared, and then b goes with the other one, so 2.2 squared. All right, so just go ahead and simplify that. It's going to be x minus 3 in parentheses squared over 5 plus y minus 1 squared over 16 is equal to 1. All right, so looking at another problem, given vertices and co-vertices. Well, first I need to find the direction. So I'm going to go ahead and sketch it. So our vertex is at negative 5, 1, so that's roughly there. And then at 1, 1, that's roughly there. All right, so it's horizontal, which means A goes with X. That's the whole reason that I find which way it goes. All right, now let's go ahead and find the center, which is in the middle of the vertices, right? So what can I do? Midpoint, midpoint, add them together and divide by 2. So add them together and divide by 2. Add them together and divide by 2. And that's going to give me negative 2, 1. So that's the center because that's the middle of the two vertices. All right, now I need A and B. I need the center, A and B. So to find A, the distance between the vertices, that's going to be 2A, right? So I'm going to label them x1, y1, x2, y2, and I'm going to use a distance formula. So the square root of x2 minus x1 plus y2 minus y1. And that's going to give me 6 squared, and that's going to be 0 squared. So it's going to be square root of 36, which is 6. So my A is 6 divided by 2, and that's going to give me 3 because I found 2A. So I have the center, I have where A goes, and I have A, but now I need to find B. So B is a distance between the co-vertices, right? And because I'm finding that whole distance, that's 2 B's, x1, y1, x2, y2, and it's the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. So that's going to give me 0 squared plus negative 4 squared, which is square root of 16, which is equal to 4. So divide that by 2, so I can just get B by itself, and I get 2. Now I have all the information I need to write the general form. So we're going to write x plus 2, because that was minus, squared, plus y minus 1, because that's regular, squared, equals 1. And now remember that longest side A goes with x. So we're going to put A squared over x, so that's 9, and B squared, which is 2. All right, I'm going to do example 7. You do the left-hand side. All right, so given vertices and foci, find the standard equation. So it's kind of similar. So again, you need to sketch it to see the direction. Once I sketch those two, I can see it's vertical, which means it's the y-axis. So A goes underneath the y. All right, now I need to find the center just like before. Midpoint, midpoint, what do? Add them together and divide by 2. So add the two vertices together. So 2 plus 2 divided by 2. 7 plus negative 9 divided by 2. So that's going to be 4 divided by 2, which is 2. That's going to be negative 1. All right, so that's my H and my K. I need to find my A. So remember, A is the distance between my vertices. And that if I find that whole distance, right, that's 2A. So that's 2A is equal to the square root of, go ahead and label my coordinates, x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. All right, so the first one's going to be 0, and that's going to give me 16 squared, and then square root it, which is going to give me 16. And remember, I just want A, so I need to divide it by 2. That's going to give me 8. All right, so I would want to find B, but the problem is I don't have C yet. So B squared is A squared minus C squared. So I need to find C. And what is C? C is the distance between the foci, right? From the center to the one of the foci. So I can find 2C, which is the whole distance between each foci, from one foci to the other, using the distance formula. x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared, which will give me 12 squared there, and that's going to be 0. So squared and then square root is the same thing, so that's 12. So C is equal to 12 divided by 2, because remember, the C is really from the center to the foci. Now, plugging that in so I can find B, I'm going to get a squared is 64 minus b squared is 36, which gives me 28. So b is the square root of 28. Now I have all the information I need to write the equation in standard form. All right, so x minus 2 squared, y, and then that's going to be plus 1 squared is equal to 1, and it goes with y. So a goes with y, so squared, and then b squared goes with x. Let's practice.